Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by Mike Pawlawski, legendary quarterback at the University of California. Also, some time in the NFL and a very well-known career in the Arena League. He also has done some wonderful work as an outdoor enthusiast, and he's done some great work there in broadcast. He's the current radio analyst for the University of California football program. So glad, Mike, that you could join us today on the 249th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence.
Awesome to be here, Scott. I appreciate you having me here.
Let's talk about what we're experiencing today. The best small town parade in America here in Orinda. What meaning does that have for you as we celebrate today and we're heading towards the 250th anniversary next year?
4th of July to me is one of the greatest holidays that we have, right? To celebrate what we are as a community, as a country, and what we stand for. We founded this country as an opportunity to do better, to be better than what was out there, to give everybody a voice, to have everybody have representative government. And over the course of almost 250 years now, we've been able to battle for it, we've been able to fight for it, and in spite of how far it swings one way or the other, we always find the middle ground where people can come together, where we can build community, where we can build country, and people can enjoy each other, live together, work together, and govern together. And so 4th of July is literally about us declaring, making a decision that we want to be better. And so it's the holiday of Americans to be better at everything we do and build that community.
Right, because we're not perfect.
Right.
We're always trying to do something to improve our condition, the condition of our communities and our country. So it's so good that we can at least step back on this kind of day and be proud of what we accomplished, even though we know we're not a finished product.
Yeah, and it's perfect because representative government is that ideal. We're not perfect, and so whenever we stray too far one way, we always kind of snap back the other way, and it always self-corrects in the way it was built. And I think it's genius by our forefathers. I think it's beautiful that we celebrate on the 4th of July.
It is, and let's talk a little bit about this parade. 41 years, and the city of Orinda, 40 years ago, incorporated. This community's been here for many more years beyond that. And I think about, well, the University of California and football. You were on a team in 1992 that went to the Citrus Bowl, weren't expected to win, and I got to tell you, people are now watching the highlights of that game because they've been posted on X in the last week. It's been getting a huge draw, and what people can see is what the sheer dominance of Cal football was on that day, on January 1, 1992 in the Citrus Bowl. 37-13 is your final.
Yeah.
What an incredible game that was. And we can go back even farther, 143 years of Cal football. When you think about that legacy, how can we make that relatable to a current fan base today?
Well, I think, Cal being part of the community, used to be the center of the community out here, right? Cal was the center of everything. I think Orinda, obviously, an obvious offshoot off of Cal and everything going on in the Bay Area, right? The growth, the gold mine, and everything that California stands for. But it's been such a big part of the Bay Area, of the East Bay, growing up here with Cal, and then Cal football coming along. You know, you go through Andy Smith and then through Pappy Waldorf and all the great names in the history of Cal football. You go through the legends, guys like Joe Kapp, Craig Morton, you keep coming, Steve Bartkowski, Joe Roth, who people may or may not know about, but was a phenomenal quarterback. You have Chuck Muncie, some of these incredible players, up to our era in the 90s, where our team finished number 7 in the country, 10-2, the only team in Cal history to win back-to-back bowl games, the highest winning percentage over 2 years in Cal history, or modern Cal history. So you got great football that leads then into guys like Pat Barnes, right, and Aaron Rodgers, and then Jared Goff. And so you have just this legacy of incredible football players, incredible opportunities, incredible games and memorable games. People still come up to me and tell me that they were at that Citrus Bowl game, or they were at the Washington game, and they remember points in their life around Cal football. And that's really what it is, the central point to build community, to build around a base. And that's why it's so wonderful to be here in Orinda, because so many of my friends, so many people I know, so many of the fans who talk to me live in Orinda, come from Orinda. And so that community that spills over the hill into Berkeley on Saturdays in the fall is a phenomenal community. So I love being here for the 4th of July parade. I love the community that we build around Cal football. I love the history of it all. I think it's pretty special.
Yeah, when you think about this community and just put in that center, in the very center of that community, 10 miles around California Memorial Stadium, you've got 1 million residents. And so many of those people have an affiliation with Cal, or they know Cal. They have someone who went to Cal. Maybe they went to Cal. A family member went to Cal, a friend. So there's that common affiliation with that university. What do you think has to be done or to kind of broaden the appeal to get somebody to come out and talk about legacy and talk about some of the great players? But what about today, and just getting some of the fans that are here today, some who know Cal really well, others who really haven't spent a lot of time understanding what's going on in football. It's an exclusive experience. It's the only major college football in the East Bay. Some might say in the entire Bay Area.
It's in the whole Bay Area.
Yeah, sorry, Stanford fans. So what do we need to do as, if we were sitting in the marketing department at the University of California, how can we draw fans that are here today and in other communities nearby to get them to California Memorial Stadium this fall?
I think understanding the experience that is Cal football. Obviously, I played there, so I was on the bus. I didn't get to tailgate. I didn't get to do all that before. But now as a broadcaster, I get to enjoy some of that. I get to see my friends. I get to see the community that's built around Cal football. And just like people coming here for the experience to celebrate the 4th of July, to celebrate our country, being a part of the experience of game day, celebrating every Saturday in the fall when you can come out and get together with your friends to build that community, to really connect. Because that's the big thing that we miss in the digital age now, is that connection. And Cal football gives us that opportunity to reconnect with one another, to spend time with people that we care about, our friends, to really get to know one another again, rather than just doom scrolling all day long. And so I think the opportunity to get together, enjoy a Cal football game, have something to root for, have something to pull for, to be part of that community is huge. And finding a way to engage people in that, I think, is key.
Yeah, now that speaks to what Chancellor Lyons has said. It's the football in particular is the community engagement device for the University of California, because alumni come to those games and you get thousands of people on a Saturday afternoon, 6 games every fall. It's an enormous opportunity, and certainly want to encourage people to learn more about Cal and get them to a Cal game. Let's just switch gears just briefly, as we're coming up on almost 10 o'clock. We're about ready to kick off the parade over on the theater side, and we'll expect the parade to be over here around 10:20. You wrote a wonderful book, Everyday Great, the playbook for winning at everything. You speak in front of corporate boards, leadership organizations. What was the driving force on writing that book, and what message were you wanting people to understand?
The same message that we kind of started this conversation with, and that the same way that we founded this country to be better, to do better. I've learned over the course of my career as an athlete and then moving into entrepreneurship, building my own companies, but there are certain things that we do as people to help ourselves improve biologically, physiologically, psychologically, to be better. And I studied those things in depth when I was playing, because I wanted to know how to motivate my teammates, how to get my teammates to play at their peak while I was still trying to get myself to play at my peak. And so all of that discovery over the years as an athlete, and then moving into business, as an entrepreneur, as a speaker, as a broadcaster, as you know, we've worked together on broadcast. Doing all that, I just understood that I wanted to help people be better, to have these understandings. I wanted to give back to the community, to be able to share something and build that legacy where I wasn't just an athlete who people watched, but I was somebody who could help them in their lives and somebody who could make their lives better. And so Everyday Great was my first shot at that, and I enjoyed it. There's kind of great stories in it. For people that love stories, there's great stories, and there's not just football stories, there's outdoor stories. There's all kinds of stuff in there, and personal relationship stories that people will love, that they can relate to, but then they can take those lessons and make their life better. And that was the key.
Yeah, and I think what most people think of, well, Mike Pawlawski was a football player. What does he know about my life? I've got a big sales pitch tomorrow, and I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't want to get up in front of 100, 200 people. It's relatable to that person as well. In fact, that's one of the key parties or group of people that you're talking to, not just football players.
Yeah, 100%, because we all experience the same thing. Whether it's me standing in the tunnel before the Arena Bowl game, where we're on national television and we're working for that world championship, the ring, the pinnacle we've been chasing along, or whether it's me climbing an 11,000-foot peak to go after a Himalayan tahr in New Zealand, or whether it's me standing on the edge of a cliff with a grizzly bear 10 feet in front of me. You face things in your life, you face these feelings, and our emotions, our physiology is all the same. So when a test becomes a T-Rex, or when fear threatens to overtake you because you got a big event, how do you handle that? How are you your best in the clutch moments? And you learn that as an athlete, and you can apply it.
Well, and everybody, I encourage you to go by Everyday Great, the playbook for winning at everything. And Mike, thank you so much for spending time with us on Independence Day and the best small town parade in Orinda. Came all the way over, trekked over, had to move around and maneuver around the community to get into this place. But I'm so appreciative of your time. I know Susie's here with you, your wife, and thank you for joining us on the Orinda Parade 2025.
Appreciate you having me, brother. It's always good to see you. I love Orinda. I love being down here. A lot of great friends down here in Orinda, so always good to come down.